Alright guys, so I talked a little about images, how you can put images on, and show you how you can decorate your background of your screen. So now what I want to go into is making your application a little bit practical. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to clean up this. I don't think I need this one, and I don't even need this gray background. So I'm going to turn the color off, just making it white. Okay. And I'll just have this thing showing up there. You know, it's cool for it to be there. So now when you log on, I want to provide you some functionality. So what functionality do we want to provide? That's the question. What kind of functionality do you want to provide? So we could do something like edit your account, right? Because you have a full name. You have an email. I don't want you to email to change, because if you change the email, then you don't really have a connection to the user, even though, yes, you do have an email of the user, but it's a different email, and it may be different in your other databases, which you might keep data for later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a quick way for you to edit your data. And I'm going to show you some cool way to do it. So what we can do is we can create buttons, we can create images, we can create shapes, or shapes with images on it, or groups to create like actions. But I'm going to create another thing for you to make your app look cool from the beginning. And that's, I'm going to go down to simple, and I'm going to allow you to create, it's not simple, where is it? Navigation. And I'm going to allow you to create a little navigation that goes on the bottom of your screen. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different navigation buttons by default, but we don't need all of them, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to turn that off, because I only have one function first. And the function I want is for you to be able to edit your account. Let's call it profile. So I'm going to go underneath this. And by the way, this is a tab component, or a tab bar component, which doesn't have to be on the bottom of the screen, but usually that's where you might put it. So it kind of just like sticks there, which is a good place to put it. You can change the colors of your thing. By default, it uses a primary color. But you can go in there and you can change the icon. So it's not going to be home that I want, but it's a profile. So I'm going to say group, or I can say person. And I want one that has a circle with a profile around it. So maybe I type the word profile. What is it? It's right here. Whatever it's called. It's called account. All right. And then I'm going to put underneath there in the text, I'm going to say my profile. And so far I haven't created any action yet. So I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to go back into my first tab. And by the way, you can also choose which tab is selected by default, which will highlight it. So if I turn this one on, show the second tab. If I turn it on, you'll have 2 buttons here, but you'll notice that this one is highlighted with your primary color, but this one is not highlighted primary color. But if I go to the tab bar and I change it, I can say I want the second tab to be the highlighted one. It usually means one that you're currently selected. But I'm going to go ahead and just make that the first tab, or actually I'm going to make it just another tab, so it doesn't, a tab that I'm not using. So because I'm not actually, I could say here, what we want to stay away from is when we have actions, we don't want to create an action where that action goes to another screen but jumps to this a random screen and jumps back to a screen. Because some people in a real application, you can just say like click a button or click an action and you go back to another screen or go to a screen. But what happens is collection data, or data part of your collection, is being passed around on the screens, and if you do that, you're going to create like a disconnect and make the application confused. So what you want to do is a linear, where you go from here, from like here to another screen, and then back in the same direction usually, so that you don't create confusion with the collections. And we'll probably go over that in another video. But right now, we're just going to discuss where we are right now. For watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Just continue on to the next video, and we'll just continue where we left off. Thanks. Like, share, subscribe. Awesome.